Hello, um, good day everyone. Let's wait till 4 o'clock before we start streaming. Let's wait till 4. Hopefully others will join us. 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 Okay, so it's 4 o'clock already. Um, well, you're gonna have to start. Um, it's 4 p.m. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with what we have to do today. Um, so you are all welcome to Halogenious Ideas, the YouTube channel. So I'm going to be our host for today, and my name is Christian Chi, and I'm excited to be bringing this stream live to us today. This is the first stream of this channel, so please, whatever inconveniences you are experiencing, I um I promise that the next stream we are going to be having it will be better than what we have today. So today we are going to be talking about website design. We are going to be taking ourselves through the introduction, talking about the website, how it works. Then we are going to be setting up talking about production servers, the staging servers, the development servers. Then we go ahead to create our production server on Windows. Then after creating the production servers on Windows, we'll proceed to working with building the site on our Windows machine. Then later on, we deploy to a live server online. So without wasting much of our time, let us get into what we have to do today. So what is a website? What's a website? We are going to be starting with this first one. What's a website? Now, a website is a collection of different pages on the same domain. A website is a collection of different web pages on the same domain. Let me explain what I mean. Um, if I have something like, let me bring in my pen. If I have, if this is a website, for instance, and I have the home page, the about us page, the contact us, the maybe services, portfolio. What makes up a website is all these web pages. All of them, they are under the same domain. What I mean by domain is, for example, if I go to a site like jumia.com.ng, if I go to a site like jumia.com.ng, we can see all these pages. If I click here, it will take me to a different page. If I click here, it takes me to a different page. If I come to account, it takes me to a different page. So all those web pages sums up together to make up a website. So, but the kind of websites we are going to be doing today, they call them single page websites. So just one page making up the whole website. It doesn't necessarily have to be different web pages. It might as well be one page or one domain, and you have your website up and running. So basically, that is what a website is. I'm very sure most of us know that by now. So let's move on to the next one. What is hosting and domain? Um, Basically, hosting is when you put your website online on a particular computer. The way a website works basically is I have a computer here and I have another computer here. So this computer, a software is installed inside this computer. A software is installed inside this other computer too. So this computer might be your phone or your laptop or your whatever. So this computer is a computer online on the internet that is hosting the website you want to visit. So using this application installed here, which is your web browser, your internet service provider will give you access to make HTTP requests to this online server. So after making the request, the server will give you what we call an HTTP response. So this server over here that is giving you the website is what you call the hosting computer. You might also call it the server as well. Why this is the client. So hosting is the act of putting your computer, your website online. That is it basically. I'm sure if I should go to Google, I'll get a better definition. Let me see what Google has to say. What is hosting? What is hosting? Um, so no. Web hosting is a service that allows organizations to post a website or a page to the internet. Basically, that is what hosting is. So a domain is like the address you can type into your web browser over here that you can use to locate a website. Basically, that is what a domain is. A link, for example, lifehack.org. Live, I think it's lifehack.org. So lifehack.org is a domain name with which you can visit this particular website here. That is it basically. So let's move on to the next one. Is website design is a skill that is worth it? Trust me, it is worth it. Web design, is it a skill that is worth it? Yes, yes, and yes. Website design is a skill that is worth it. Trust me. Let me give you let me show us something. If you come to fiverr.com, this is an online freelancing platform. Let me bring this. So if you come to the popular services they have over here, you can see website design over here, and you can see WordPress. WordPress is featured as one of the popular services rendered on arguably the number one freelancing platform in the world, WordPress. So yes, it is worth it. Let me open it up and show us something. You can see so many, you can see 109 services, 109,288 services available. See all these gigs here, all of them, all of them. So yes, it is worth learning, trust me. Another freelancing platform where you can get jobs from, Upwork.com. So you can just go and browse their, check their marketplace out, and this is Upwork. So if you come to find work, so I can just come here to search. I'm looking for talent. I want to show us, I just want to come here to search for WordPress. Yes. This is what I want. My network is not behaving as it should. I wonder what is up. Okay, so you can see WordPress. You can see a whole lot, 99% job success. Elementor Pro, WordPress developer, whatever. You can see, you can see. So yes, it is a skill that is worth it. Trust me. WordPress design, learning WordPress design, a web design using WordPress is a skill that is worth it. So um, what are development, staging, and production servers? Actually, I would like to call this environment. Let me make the change. Environment. So what are development, staging, and production environments? So Now, to the first one, development environment. Now, this development environment is the environment where you do development, basically. That is where you build the software. That's where you build the application. In our own case, that is where you're going to be building the website. This development environment is where you are going to be creating the website, basically. That is where you are going to be doing all your debugging, writing your code, doing whatever you want to do, creating the piece you want to put online. You do it in the development environment, basically. Now, for the staging environment, the staging environment basically is it's not the production server, but it's an environment that looks like the production server. You only use it to check that this website is usable. You use it to ascertain the fact that this product that we want to deploy online, this is what it will look like online. You might want to show it to stakeholders and all those, just to show them that, okay, for example, if you are working for the client might say, okay, before you push this website to my main site, imagine it's a website where millions of people are actively using, they are actively communicating with the site. So you won't want to just go and tamper with something and go your way. No, you want to make sure that anything you are doing on the site is actually safe and secured. It's actually safe and secured. So that way, you know that this is what you're dealing with. So that is the staging environment. Now, the last one we're going to be talking about is the production environment. Now, this production environment is the environment that the user interacts with, the end user. I wonder what. Okay. Well, hmm. So, the production environment is the environment that the user gets to interact with. That is the website live, the website on the internet. That is the production environment. So, that is it basically. Now, creating a WordPress development environment on Windows. So I want to keep this stream as short as I can. That's the reason why I'm just going to the point, and to the point, because I know we all have so many other things to do. Now, creating a WordPress development environment on Windows. Now, I believe all of us, we know how to use the Windows operating system. We know how to navigate our ways through installing applications and all that. So let's just get started. I'm going to be doing this on Windows, but for Mac, most likely I'll just put the link in the description after posting the video. So creating a WordPress development environment on Windows. Now, the first thing we are going to be doing is downloading and installing Xampp. Now, downloading and installing Xampp, for one reason or the other, I don't know. It takes quite a whole lot of time if I want to install it on my machine. So I've installed it, but I'm going to show us how to install it on our end. So, like I told us, for you to get the best out of this stream, you shouldn't like design along with me. Just watch, then use the playback to practice on the hand. So the Xampp, let me open the Xampp. Um, for you to download and install Xampp, you go to Xampp. No, I think it's Apache Friends. Apache Friends. But let me just search it on Google. Install Xampp. I have it installed on my machine already, but I'll show us. If you just come to download Xampp here, it will bring you to Apache Friends. Yes, exactly. So you check the specifications of your laptop, then you download any one of these three. After downloading any one of the three, just install it using the default settings and you are good to go. I've installed it already on my machine, so I won't have to install again. Now, you have the 7.4, the PHP version 7.4, PHP 8.0. I think this 7.4 is good for WordPress. It's good for WordPress. So, for Linux, for macOS, I think it's better you do this using a guide, a video. So you can just go to YouTube and search for a video. I'll link some in the description below for other operating systems. So that is it. If you click on this download here now for Windows, I'm on a Windows machine. If you just download and install it using the default settings and you're good to go. So we are done installing our Xampp. Now downloading and installing WordPress. If you come to WordPress.org, you come to WordPress.org. WordPress.org. So this is WordPress over here. To download WordPress, you come to Get WordPress. So when you get your, it will some hosting platforms, some of the best hosting platforms we have. So I use SiteGround, by the way. Now you can come to, you see the download button here. So just download this. So you can see it's downloading WordPress for me already. It's downloading the so it's downloading it for me. You can see. So the next thing for me to do is to go and unzip this WordPress file. That's the next thing for me to do, to unzip. Next thing for me to do is to unzip the WordPress file. So I can come to, I don't know why this thing was visualized. Let's wait for it to finalize the download. I don't know the reason why it is slowing down. I have no idea. Or should I just go and download again? I don't know. Perhaps this one will get it before this one gets there. Actually, I do have WordPress downloaded to my computer already. So if I come to my downloads folder, okay, I think this is it. This is it. So this is it. So you can use any Windows software of your choice to extract to unzip the WordPress folder. But as you can see, I use PZip. I use PZip here. Other alternative you have is the WinRAR or whatever software you want to use. It's totally fine. So this is WordPress over here. You can see all the WordPress files. These are the core WordPress files. So I'll come to extract. Then you can just extract it over here. So if I close this and come back here, you see I have a folder here. If I open it, I don't think it finished downloading. I think there's something wrong. I have WordPress downloaded here already. Only that I have to look for it. I have a WordPress. This is I have a WordPress instance downloaded already. Um so okay, this is a folder actually. Okay, everything I need is here. Everything I need is here. So enlarge this. So after extracting, I think it will be extractable. That one extracted it already. So extracts. Okay, we have to wait for this to extract. What I'm doing here basically is the zip file for WordPress. I'm downloading it. Then after I'm done downloading it, I will extract the whole zip. I wonder why this is not downloading. I have to use one I've downloaded initially. So we just have to wait for it to finish the download. For it to finish extracting rather. I wonder why this is taking too long. It's taking too long. This is taking too long. Just have to wait for it. It's telling us to wait for about 3 minutes. That is a whole lot of time. It's telling us to wait for 3 minutes. I'm going to be shy. Um, Still telling us to wait. 1 minute and 45 seconds. Okay. Um, okay, while this is extracting, there's something I have to bring to our notice. Now, for you to be able to visit the website, like I said, it's let me bring my pen up. It's a computer basically talking to another computer. Now, this computer might be your phone or your laptop, your tabs, or whatever. While this computer is a computer on the internet, the internet service provider will give you access to make HTTP requests to this computer. While this computer, through your internet service provider again, will send you HTTP response. Now, what we want to do in this development environment is that these two computers, we are going to be creating it on this my Windows machine, on this my laptop. So let me clear this thing up and put another drawing up. So what we are doing basically is in this my Windows machine, both the client and the server are going to be present on this particular machine. So this client will be making HTTP requests to the server, and the server will be sending HTTP response back to the client. That is basically what I'm doing here. That's what I want to do here now. So I want to give my laptop the capability to host a website. So my laptop will be doing the hosting, and another software on my laptop will be making the request. Like I said, for the client and the server, a software will be installed here and a software will be installed here. So this software will be given the opportunity to communicate to this software over here. This software also has the ability to send responses to this software over here through, normally, if it were over the web, it will be through an internet service provider. But since it's not over the web, then everything just goes seamlessly on this laptop. So what I'm doing basically is that this and this, both of them will be on this particular laptop. So this software installed here will be my Google Chrome, while this software installed here that is hosting the website is called Xampp, Xampp, the Xampp I told us to download. So that is it basically. Let me take all this out. Take all this out. Okay, I think WordPress have finished extracting. So if I come here, you see I have all my core WordPress files. So what I will do now is that I will copy this WordPress, this particular WordPress folder. I will copy it. Then because we have installed Xampp, you will come to your C drive, you will come to Xampp. C drive, you come to Xampp. So you come to htdocs. Where is it? You come to htdocs. htdocs. Yeah, this is htdocs. So after opening htdocs, normally you won't get this demo ground, you won't get IMG, you won't get NFT. You might get Weblyzer. This web test, you won't get it. This is a website I've installed on my laptop, like I've hosted on my laptop previously. So let me just paste this thing here. So as you can see, the WordPress code I extracted from what I downloaded is what I'm pasting here. So this is where the website will be hosted, like my development environment. So another thing I would like to explain to us before we move further is the client and the server. So as I told us already, the internet works in such a way that I have a particular computer here and I have another computer here. This computer has some softwares installed in it. This also has some softwares installed in it. So these softwares have the capability to make HTTP requests, while these ones have the capability to send HTTP response. So this one here now is what you call the server. This computer here now is what you call the server. Why this is the client? Why this is the client? So, but in this case now, in the case of our development environment, both the client and the server are on my laptop. So this is WordPress over here. I've installed it. So the next thing for me to do now is to rename this. So you have to rename it. You have to rename it. I can say I'm on Windows, so you might either decide to just click on it like twice within a short space between them. It's a trick, or you can just come to rename here. Just come to rename. Okay, so WordPress, I might rename it to HID training. Actually, I don't like the fact that I have an iPhone there, but you can use an iPhone as well. But let me just HID training. HID training. Okay. So don't forget, this is the name of my the WordPress instance I created here. So HID training. Now I'm done with everything I want to do over here. Let me close this. So if I come here, we have downloaded and installed Xampp, and we have added WordPress to our htdocs folder. So the next thing for us to do now is to create a database for our site in PHP MyAdmin. Now, for you to create a database for your site in PHP MyAdmin, um, first of all, you have to start Xampp. So I've installed Xampp. I have it on my laptop. So I opened it here. Then you start Apache Friends and MySQL. These are the dependencies of WordPress. So if you start these two softwares together, these two options here, but make sure you start this one first. After you are sure that Apache shows some light green color at the background, yes, it should be light green, yeah, something like this. You wait for like 10 seconds. So should we start counting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, online. So you come to MySQL, you start MySQL as well. Just make sure you don't just start and start. You might run into errors. So you can see Apache is running on 80,443. These are the two ports Apache is running on. MySQL is running on 3306, which is what WordPress wants. So now let me just leave this somewhere. The next thing you want to do is to create a database for the website we want to create now, and PHP MyAdmin. That's what we want to do. So you come here. What's wrong? Okay. So you come to localhost slash PHP MyAdmin. I don't know. I'm a Miami fan, so all this thing coming up here, they are all um what's happening here. Particularly sad to learn about. Oh, that's bad. Get out. Okay, so this is loaded. So sometimes if you are loading a site for the first time after opening your Xampp for the first time, if you are loading for the first time, it might take a while to load, or subsequently to just it won't take that much of time. So this is your SQL server. This is your SQL server. So Now, what you have to do if you're opening this for the first time on your end, obviously you won't get as much as it is. I've hosted some sites on this laptop before, so that's the reason why I'm getting, for example, this NFT site, web test data, whatever I want to do. I've hosted many sites here before. That's why I'm having many database instances here. So I want to create a new database specifically for the website we are creating. So I'll come to new, it will give me what I have here. So come here, you come to collation, database name, I can say HID training data. So make sure you copy this and make sure you have it somewhere. HID training data. That's the name of the database I want to create for the site I'm creating now. So don't forget, this should be in collation. Then you create. You can see the database is created. HID training data. Now you can see this database is empty. It's empty. So this database is empty. The next thing I want to do now is to connect this database to the website I want to build. So I'll come here. I will come to this web browser. For me to access the website, the WordPress instance I copied to that htdocs folder. What I have to do is to come to localhost slash HID training. HID training is the name of the folder, of the WordPress folder I copied to htdocs. So that is what I'll put here. If, for example, your own might be Peter's website, just come in Peter's website here. So like I said, if you are loading a site for the first time on your local host, it might take some time to come up, but subsequently, you can see it's telling me to set up WordPress configuration. So let me come back here. So I've added WordPress to my htdocs folder. I've created the database. Now I have to complete WordPress configuration. So come here, um, English, United States. Let me just go with this default. So it's going to be asking me for database name, database username, database password, and the database host, then the table prefix. So let's go. Now I have WordPress here as the database name, which is file, which is file. So my database name is HID training data. Don't forget, come to localhost HID training data. That is the name of my database. So come back here, HID training data. Then the username for the database is root. Then the password, just leave it empty. Leave the password empty. So for the database host, leave it as localhost. Then for the table prefix, leave it as WP underscore. These are default settings for Xampp if you want to host WordPress on your local computer. These are default settings. Make sure they are not changed. These are the default settings. So HID training data, I have root, I have localhost, then I have WP underscore. You click on submit, then you can see all right partly. Now we can run the installation, which is the next thing to do here actually. Running the installation. So come back here, run the installation. So as you can see, the installation was successful. So the next thing for us to do is to log into the admin dashboard. We can't log into the admin dashboard yet. We have to provide information about the site. But if you're installing WordPress on a live server, you won't have to go through this much of stress. Trust me. You won't have to go through this much of stress if you are installing on a live server. But since we are still doing what we are doing on the development server, that's why we have to be going through all this stress. So the site title, let me say HID training. That's the site title. Now the username of the admin, what can we do? Let me say main admin. This should be my username and my password for now. So confirm the use of the password. You can use any password you want, but this is what I want to use. Main admin, main admin. So or just admin. Admin admin should do. So confirm the use of big password. Then my email address. I might decide to use whatever admin. Actually, it's better to use a proper email here, because when you're uploading to the live server, um, well, it's no problem if you actually put a double email here. It's no problem. So discourage search engines from indexing this site. Obviously, it's on my computer. My computer is not a member of the internet until I get an internet service provider to it. So to give me access rather. So the next thing for me to do is to install WordPress. So we wait for it. We wait for it. Um, telling us to wait. Okay, very good. Good. So now WordPress has been installed. Thank you and enjoy. You're welcome. So now don't forget, this HID training data initially was what? Empty. So now if I do something like reloading this particular page down, you can see the HID database that was initially empty now has so many, all these tables that we have here, they are peculiar to WordPress. All these tables we have here, it is because we've installed WordPress on together with this. We've connected this database to WordPress. That's the reason why I'm having all these tables. Now, when you install some things, themes and plugins, you even get more tables. Although depending on the functionality of the theme and the plugin. So, but I want to keep it as basic as I can for now. So the WordPress installation was successful. What's the next thing to do? To log into the admin dashboard of our new site. So don't forget, this is still the development environment. And the client and the server here. So let me just make another. Don't forget, I said this is one computer here. This is another computer over here. This computer have some softwares installed into it. For example, Google Chrome. This computer has softwares installed in it. Say C5 or something. So this computer has the capability through the internet service provider. This software will make HTTP requests. This software will return HTTP responses. Don't forget, that's what I said. Now, in our own case now, this is a development environment and it's on this local computer. So what is happening here now is that it is only one computer that is involved, but two softwares are communicating to each other on the same computer. So I have this software one, and I have another software over here. All of them are on my Windows machine. No, that is not good. So both of them are on my Windows computer. Both of them. Now, this software here is my Google Chrome. This is Google Chrome I'm using to communicate with Xampp. Xampp is my local host here, while this is Google Chrome. Now, Google Chrome will make requests to Xampp. Xampp will send HTTP responses to Google Chrome. Both of them are talking together on the same Windows machine, on this Windows machine, my laptop. So that is it basically. Close this, close all this. Okay. So the next thing for me to do is to log in. So don't forget, my username and my password is admin. What is this? Admin. So remember me, log in. Now you can see this is the admin dashboard. Close. This is the admin dashboard of WordPress. The admin dashboard of WordPress. So you want to build a website, you want to kill a website, you want to create a website, or you want to make the website owner cry. This is where you do everything. This is where you do everything. So this is like the powerhouse of WordPress. This place we arrive at now. So that is all about creating our development environment. Now let's go ahead to build the site that we want to build. I think that should be enough still. So starting the website design itself, all we have been doing since is to create the environment where we are going to be doing the website. So we are going to be starting with a brief introduction to the WordPress interface and all the options there. Let's quickly run through it. Now, these are the menus that we have here. These are the main menus for WordPress. This is the dashboard. If you come to home, if you have any updates, if you have to update WordPress itself, I think that is it. If you have to update WordPress itself. Okay, you can see I have the current version is 5.91. So if you have any theme or plugin that you have to update, I think this is where you come to update them. So 2019, 2020, 2021 are the themes that are available for default installation. Now, one thing you should all know is that we have themes and we have plugins. Both of them are different. I will explain when I get to the tab value. For now, let's just move on. So I have posts. Now, if you want to create blog posts in WordPress, hopefully there will be another stream where we are going to be creating a blog. There will be another stream. So as soon as it's available, I'll just put it in the link of the description below this video. So if you want to create a new post, this is where you do it. You can come to add a new post. So come to add a new post. So add the title of the post and you add the body of the post. So and in this body, for example, you can say demo post. This is the title of my post. Come here, right? Let me go to lipsum.com to get double content. Lipsum.com. Lipsum.com is a place where you can get just dummy content to work with your website. So let me just get this should do. So copy this, then paste it. So you can see this is the blog content. Then I might come here and add a featured image. But if you come to this post over here, featured image, you don't have to do all this. I'm just showing us. So I think there's a way for me to close this if I need it out. Actually, I might need it anytime. Let me just turn it back. So the featured image, you can add the featured image over here. So whatever you want to do when you are done to publish, but that's not what this stream is about. So this stream is very, very introductory. So you can see I have demo post and it's under my drag. So post categories and tags and all that. So this is the media tab. Now, if you click on this media, actually I want to close all this. I don't like all these tabs. So if you have any media files on your WordPress site, this is where you see them. The media files are your videos, your audios, your pictures, your documents, whatever media files you have, this is where it's going to appear. So, and these are the pages you have on your site. If you have any page on the site, for example, the default that comes to WordPress is the privacy policy page and the sample page. So this is in draft, but this is not. So I can just view this page. Let me view this page. So see what I have here. This is a sample page. This is a sample page. So this is a sample page. So if you have any comments on any post or whatever, this is where you see it. Now, appearance is where you customize how the site looks, the looks, what the site looks like. That is what you do under appearance. Now, other appearance, you have themes, customize, widget, menus, backgrounds, and the theme file editor. Now, this theme file editor is where you alter the code or when you add your own custom code to WordPress. Now, I will tell you to try as much as possible to avoid this option unless you are a developer for WordPress like I am. So all these codes here, you understand what is happening. You can see it's already giving you a warning here. You might write just one wrong line of code here and your website is gone. And your website is gone. So please, if you don't know what you are doing, just avoid this part of the site. So I have the sample page over here. I'm not doing anything with it. Okay, so the themes. Now, a theme is what you use to dictate what a WordPress website will look like. What will it look like? For example, we might have two different websites built using WordPress. Now, these two websites, we have two different looks. What is primarily responsible for the look? The difference between what the two of them look like is the theme. I have 2021, 2019, 2020. Then I have 2022. I'm going to let me update everything. updating these things might take time. Take a while. Updating all these things might take a while. Okay, surely it's not taking any while. So let me go back to visit the site. I'll show us now that all these different themes that we have, they are going to be affecting what the website looks like. I'm just going, you can see this is what the default looks like. This is what the default. This is what it looks like, the default. So I think before I updated this, it had a different look. It had a sample page somewhere here, then it had some content here. So, but just because I updated it, it is giving me a whole different look. Now let's come back here. If I come to activate, this is 2021. I updated. If I should activate 2019, you see now 2019 is active while others are just there as. So you can see 2019 is giving me a whole different look. You can see 2019 is giving me a whole different look. If I come to this is 2021, this is 2020, this is 2022. Let me activate 2022 and show us what 2022 looks like. So you can see what 2022 looks like. You can see what it looks like. So basically, a theme is what affects what a website will look like. Basically, that's it. There's no other fancy name you give to it. So let me go back to 2019. Go back to 2019. So currently, this is what my website will look like. So 2019, this is what it looks like. So we are still going to design something that looks far more palatable to the eyes. So this is trash. This is trash. So that is all about team. So you can come to some team. We will give you a team option here. So from the team option, you'll be able to add or customize, add phone numbers, add emails, add pictures, customize the way the website will look. Basically, that is what the team is responsible for. But plugins are what you use to extend the functionality of WordPress. Plugins, you use them to extend the functionality of WordPress. The default functionality of WordPress is just for blogging. That is the basic thing. WordPress by default is for blogging. But people sell on WordPress. People build NGO websites on WordPress. People do so many things on WordPress because they have the plugin that gives them the ability to do those things. WordPress by default, let me try to explain something here. So let me use black. If I have this is WordPress core. By default, the only thing you can do with WordPress is to blog. But if you want to do something extra, like maybe if you want to do something extra, like say if you want to sell or you want to take donations on WordPress, you have to look for a plugin that you are going to install in WordPress. That plugin will give you the ability to sell, or if you want to receive donations, for example, you look for a plugin that gives you the ability to receive the donations. Then you install it into WordPress. Then this default WordPress will be altered. Then the functionality for you to do whatever you want to do will be added to the default WordPress. So that is what plugins are used for. You use it to extend the functionality of your WordPress site. So that is and one of those good things about WordPress, like I told us before now, is that we have a very, very large community of developers for WordPress. Without actually having to write a line of code, you can do so many good things to WordPress. If I come to admin, for example, it's going to load the WordPress repository. So let me come to team appearance tips. So let me click on admin. You will see so many amazing themes here that you can use. A whole lot of them. This Astra is actually my to-go theme, my favorite theme, this Astra. As you can see, I have 2020, I have it installed, but it's not activated. So 2019 is activated already. So this one is giving me installed. So this is the popular tab. I love this Astra. It is my to-go theme. And one of the reasons why I love it is because it is lightweight. Now, if you don't just go and choose anything for a WordPress site. You don't do that. You don't do that. Just go choose anything for any WordPress site. No, you don't do that. You look at the part of what you consider when you want to choose a theme for a site is you consider the kind of site that you are dealing with. Another thing you have to consider is the functionality the site will be needing. Another thing you have to consider is if the team is lightweight or not, because if the team is heavy, your website loading speed might be affected. So please, when you are choosing a theme for your site, make sure it is one that is very light. This Astra is very light. Like it is confirmed. Another one that is very light that you can use is Ocean WP. So I'm not going to be working with any fancy teams today. I'm not going to be working with any fancy teams today. In another stream, I'll show us how to navigate all these teams. This Nivea too is very nice. This Nivea is very nice. It's very nice. So I wonder why Ocean W is nowhere here. I wonder why. These people are vexed. Oh, so sorry, please. So teams. Now for plugins you can use to extend the functionality of WordPress. We have a whole lot of them, a whole lot, a whole lot. You can search by tags, you can do whatever you want to do, a whole lot of them. These are popular plugins. If you come to the popular plugins tab, contact from 7, if you want to create a contact form on your site, and the contact form is going to display like home, about, no, that's not what I want to say. If the contact form is going to be doing something like um, we would like to we would like to hear from you something something something. You come, you write the name, you put a text field here, you write the subject of the email, you put a text field here, you might collect some other personal information, you put a text field here, then you might put something like comments, then you put a box here for them to write the comments they want to write, then you put a button over here for them to submit. So they will fill in all this form. Then when they are done, they will submit the form. A plugin like this can help you do that. By default, WordPress will not allow you to do it. So you use this plugin to extend the functionality of WordPress to be able to do that. For example, Yoast SEO too is a plugin used to set up search engine optimization for your WordPress site. By default, WordPress SEO by default is not good. So Yoast SEO is a plugin that will give you the ability to improve the WordPress SEO. So let me clean all this so we can move forward. We have lookup. If you want to sell on WordPress, this is what we're going to use. So there should be a stream on WooCommerce itself. You know, we create an e-commerce site. There should be a stream for that. So we have really simple SSL. We have a whole lot of WP contact, WordFence for security purposes. Then we are going to be using this plugin itself, all-in-one WP migration to transfer our website from this development environment to the live server. So let's just proceed. So we have users. So if you want to create different kind of users like administrators, editors, whatever you want to create, you can do them here. So whatever kind of users you want to create, that is what you're going to be creating it. So we have different tools, import, export, erase personal data, whatever you want to do. Now, of all these options here, the most important one there is the settings, because like I said, this particular dashboard is where you create the website, and it's also where you destroy the site. So of all the menus we have here, this is the most important one. Trust me. We have the site title, like we added some few hours back. We have the site title, we have the tagline, we have the WordPress address URL, we have the site URL, we have the administration email address, like we entered there. When you transfer the site to a live server, we are going to be changing this. We are going to be changing this. So membership, can anyone register? If this were a membership site or an e-commerce site where users will be able to create their own account and actually make purchases from their dashboard or user area, you can tick this. But for this particular site you want to do, we won't be doing that. So default user role, since this is not a since I didn't check this, there's no point going selecting this. So the site language, now the time zone. Currently The time zone on my end is, there should be Lagos here somewhere. Yes, this is Lagos over here. Lagos. Yes, this is Lagos. So the date format I want, March 7th, 2020. I think this is fine. Time format, whatever. Save changes. So other settings that you can make, the writing, the reading, discussion, media, the permalinks. One of those very important parts of WordPress is this permalinks. Then we have the privacy as well. So I think that should do for an introduction of this WordPress interface. That should do. So let's go back to our guide. Okay, a brief introduction. Now, installing all the necessary plugins for this site use case. Now, let me take this one out. I don't think I need this anymore, but I'll just keep it open to show us that after installing some WordPress themes and plugins, you might end up having more tables than you actually do have here. Now I have just 12 tables. So take this one out. Take this out. Take this out. Okay. So the first thing I like to do when creating a WordPress site is I will come here to, you can see this button over here. If you hover over the button, you'll be able to create post, media, page, whatever you want to do. So I want to create a page and I will name the page home. Then I will create another one and name it privacy policy. Just home and privacy policy. For this particular site, those are the two needed. We don't actually need privacy policy, but it's already a part of me that any site I create, I must create a privacy policy for it. It's very important. Many web designers, they used to like they don't take it serious, but me, it's very paramount. So just home, and that's it. Publish. Then another one I'll be creating, like I told us, is the privacy policy. Mind you, this option is available from any part of this dashboard. If I come to WordPress, if I come to the dashboard rather, you can see I can just dismiss this, just occupying space. Another thing I like to do is all these tabs here. I have no use for them. All these things I have here, I have no use for them. It is just occupying space for me. You can see my dashboard is started. So just come here and untick all these things here. Untick all of them. They are just occupying space. So my dashboard is clean. Now I've created my own page. I have to go to the page. Don't forget, I want to create privacy policy. So I think it's better we go and delete the one we had initially. Come to pages, then all pages, yes. So this privacy policy I had initially, I'll trash it. Then I'll go to trash and delete it as well. If I've trashed it already, why delete it? So go to all published. So I have just the home and the sample page. I think I'd like to trash this one too. I'm not using it for anything. It's a very good web design practice that any site you are creating, if for one reason or the other, you don't need a particular theme, a plugin, a file, a page, take it out. If you don't need it, you don't have to keep it. Just take it out. So in our own, okay, I've created the home. The next thing is the privacy policy. Now, one thing I forgot to tell us is that for Xampp, for you to run WordPress on Xampp, you don't need internet connection. But if you want to install a plugin, for example, from WordPress repository, if you come here, you want to install a plugin, admin for the team. All these plugins here, they are loaded because I have internet connection. If I don't have internet connection, all these things, it won't come up. It will not come. So these teams too, if I come to admin, if I don't have internet connection, it won't load all the teams that I've created. It won't load them up at all. So the reason why it's loading them is because I have internet connection. So please just take notes. So add plugins. So my home and my privacy policy page is live. Okay, I have home and I have privacy policy. The next thing we want to do is to come to settings, yes, after creating home and privacy policy. Next thing I like to do is come to settings and click on general. Actually, all the settings I have here, I'm going to be working on each one of them. I think except media and discussion. So every other setting I'm going to be working on. So the site starts with HID training. So the tagline, I can say, what tagline can I use? What tagline can I use? I can say, the first Google Tech. Those are so beginners. So I have my site title and I have the tagline. The next thing I want to do is all this. I'll just leave it. When I go to the live server, I'll change this. So which starts on Monday? No, on our end it doesn't. Sunday starting. Okay, so I have HID training tagline. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to come to writing. I don't think there's anything here I want to change. Let me just leave it. Let me just leave it. So for reading, now very, very important. If you come to, by default, if you visit the site, by default in WordPress, it is going to be loading the latest post. That is what it does. It is going to be loading the latest posts because this hello world is the only post we have. If I should create another post and I load this page, it is going to be giving me that latest post. That's what it's going to be doing. So it's going to be giving me a list of my latest posts. I think if it is more than 6 or 7, it will just paginate. So what I want to do is my homepage. I want it to be this homepage that I just created. If I come to pages and I come to all pages, let me bring this back here. So I'll show us this homepage I created here is what I want as my homepage. So I'll just select then homepage. For now, this post page, I will leave it blank. Normally it's supposed to be my blog, but I'll just leave it blank. Okay. Okay, before the post paginate, I think it will be 10 posts. If I have 10 posts, then we paginate. If I have more than 10 posts, it will paginate. But since I've selected the static page here now, if I should save this and I reload my site, that empty page I just created is what I'll be getting. You can see just an empty page. This is the page title. I added no content, so there's nothing that will be seen here. So all these ones, these are just like the sidebar, the footer, all this. So no, this is not a sidebar actually. These are just the footer. These elements are all in the footer. So next thing is to go to discussion. All these things I have here. I think the default works for me. Discussion and media, the default works for me. Okay, so very, very important. Most plugins, most developers, most designers, most people have come in contact with, say 99% of them, they go with posting here. They go with posting. So and most plugin developers to make sure that their plugin can easily interface with your WordPress. Most people go with posting them. So let's just use the posting. So what's the next thing to do? Now you come to privacy. Actually, for this particular website you want to do, there's no need to set up the privacy policy page. But me, I will set it. I will set it. Okay, so I think we are good to go. So the next thing to do now is to all the pages are set and the default. Another thing I want to do is to uninstall the themes and the plugins I'm not using because they are just occupying space for me. They are only occupying space for me. I don't like it. If I don't need it, it should not be on my site. So come here and appearance, open the theme. So this is my home page. This is pages. This is the only active one. So let me just delete this. I want to keep my website as light as possible. As light as possible. I don't need 2021. So just delete this. Then this one too, I don't need it. Take it out. I do not want. I do not want. So I think that would be all for tips. So 2019 is the only active theme, and that's the only theme on this site for now. So this is not the best theme, by the way, but for this, for now, let's just keep it like this. So for plugins, if you come to install plugins, by default, WordPress will give you a schema, or what do they call it? Yeah, Akismet, anti-spam, and Hello Dolly. So take the two out. I don't want them. I don't need them. Should not be on my site. So I'm going to choose delete, apply. Yes, take it out. So I think that will be all for cleaning up and all. So the next thing for us to do now is to go and start installing all the necessary plugins to use on our site. Now, the plugins that we need for this site to function, don't forget I said it's just a one-page website for ourselves. So we are going to be needing a page builder. Now, this page builder, I don't like the default what WordPress gives me by default. Let me show you what WordPress gives me by default. So I'll show you the difference between this and what the page builder will bring to the table. Close this up. So you can see what I have here. Now, if I come here to add a new plugin, search for Elementor. We are going to be installing two plugins from here. We are going to be installing the Elementor website builder. So it's still installing. Now, Elementor is a free website builder. It has a free plan and it has the what they call it, the premium version. So with the free plan, you can design a whole lot of amazing websites with Elementor, a whole lot. So the pro version has the additional capability to edit some archive pages. If you're using WooCommerce, for example, and you're using the advanced Elementor, I'm sorry, the premium Elementor, you'll be able to edit your post page, your shopping page, your cart page, your product pages, your checkout pages, whatever you want to. So now, after installing it, you come to install essential add-ons for Elementor. So these two plugins we have here we are going to be putting it in another video entirely. So just for now, this is what we are going to be doing. Just this two. Just this two. We're going to be installing a third plugin actually. So this is still installing. Let's wait for it to finish installing. Okay. So the last plugin we're going to be needing is 10 links. So this particular plugin here, that's what I'm going to be needing. So come to the store now. Now, one thing you should understand about how WordPress works is that everything or most teams, as I'm a developer, so if I were not a developer, I would tell you everything. So most teams they have this portion here that we call the header. My paper. So it's in black. So no, this is too big. What I tell you, are you kidding me? Okay. So this portion of the site is called the header. Just this part. This part. For most websites, this part is going to be having the logo, then it's going to be having some menu icons here. Then it might be having some icons here like user, FAQ, contact, and whatever. Then it might be having a notice somewhere here. So this is like the header, the primary header. From here, from this part to this part is what you call the header, by the way. So let me take all the things I've done here. Let me take it out. So that is the header. Now, if you come down, You see all this part here is what you call the footer. All this part here, from all this place coming down, that's what you call the footer. If you scroll down, here, that's what you call the footer. All these places down is what you call the footer. Now, for this particular use case, for this website you want to do, I don't need WordPress header and footer. I want to disable them. I don't need their header. I don't need their footer. So I want to do everything by myself because actually this header is very ugly and the footer too is ugly. So why do I need it? So, okay, I think all my plugins, they are installed. If I come to, you can activate everything from here individually. But I think I can just come here to install plugins and activate everything at once. So select this, bulk action, activate, then you apply. Let me be sure everything was installed. Plugins was activated rather. Okay, you can see everything, all the plugins, they were activated at once. So the next thing I want to do is I want to show us the difference between this and what an Elementor page will look like originally. So I will go back to the pages that I've created initially, all page. Then this home page now, I'll come to edit. Let me show us something. Local host. If I should reload this page, I still have 12 tables here. Okay, you can see now. Initially, if I come to edit page, it won't give me these three options. It is to tell you that Elementor has extended WordPress functionality here by giving me these other three options here now. So I have the opportunity to use templates to bring in a template or whatever. But we are going to be using a template, but I want to show us what it looks like originally before bringing in the template. So we come to edit with Elementor. Okay, so you can see what it looks like now. You can see this is what the page looks like originally. This is what it looks like. Now you have two options here, but I'm past where I can show us the first one, so I'll just go with the second one. Now, if you come to settings, you will see page layout. This is the Elementor interface, by the way. This is the Elementor interface. I'm going to be running us through the interface briefly before actually using it to design the web page. So if you come to page layout, don't forget, after getting to this page, I think okay, this is where it takes me. So you come to this settings option here. Then you come to page layout. This default is what is there originally. But because I've installed Elementor, it is giving me two other options. So what I want is, I'm going to be using Elementor Canvas for the site we want to build, but Elementor full width is what we are going to be using here now. If I should select Elementor full width, it is no longer the default. So it is going to be changing this page layout hereby giving me only the site header and the footer. But normally I have my space for Elementor to work. So for example, if I want to design this site, if I let me walk us through some of all these free basic elements so that if you are using Elementor Pro, all these options will be available to you. So you can see some other general you can see some other general system here, widgets or what? Okay, I don't know. Yeah, widgets. So we also have sites. We have essential add-ons. The reason why you have essential add-ons here, now there are some plugins that are meant to extend the functionalities of other plugins. For example, I have um I have the normal. What is wrong? What exactly is wrong? So okay. So I have the normal WordPress, like the normal WordPress store. I have the normal WordPress store. Now, I have Elementor here that is extending the functionalities of WordPress. Now, essential add-ons is coming in to extend the functionality of Elementor. So that is to tell you that there are some plugins that depend on other plugins to work. A good example is this EA add-ons for Elementor, essential add-ons for Elementor. So this essential add-ons for Elementor will give you the opportunity to extend Elementor, and Elementor is extending WordPress. So that is it basically. Come here, close this. So let me walk us through some of the options we have here. If you need a text to be on the page, you can just come here, drag it in. You see, I dragged my text in. So I can say welcome to the site. I can just come here and say welcome to the site. So, and this welcome to the site now, I think I need to do another video specifically for Elementor because Elementor is broad. Knowing how to use it is Elementor is broad on it too. So come back here. So if I want to change the color of the text, I can just highlight everything, then change the color to what you can see. As I'm changing this thing, the color is changing. So I might decide to use whatever I want to do. Possibilities are endless. You can see. You can see. So I think some this is not a bad idea. It's not good to use pure black on the site. Nobody does that anymore. So 27, 27, 27 should do. So I think this is a text stroke. If you want to apply a stroke, you can see what it does. So if you want to give it a shadow, whatever, you can see the shadow there. So, but I don't want this. I don't want the text stroke. So another thing you might want to do is to make it center aligned. So you can see the alignment over here. So the HTML tag here, it might be H1. You can see it is becoming bigger. It might be H2, but this can be edited to default. Don't worry, I'll do a video where I'll explain how Elementor works very, very well. So I'll put it in the description below so everybody can have access to it. So this is welcome to the site. This is just the text. So come to site. If you want to edit the typography, now the typography, I don't have an actual definition for typography, truth being told. So permit me to go to Google and look for a definition. No. I might be leaving this page. So what is typography? So it's the art and technique of arranging type to make okay, this is what it is. Typography is the art of arranging letters and text in a way that makes the copy legible, clear, and visually appealing to the most likely to the eyes. It's not explainable. So that is it. If you want to edit it to make it more palatable to the eyes, so you can increase the size from here. You can see you can just manually enter the size. For example, you can say 40 pixels. And don't forget you have EM, ARIA, VW. So you can do whatever you want to do from here. So that is it basically. Another thing you might want to do is to I think that is all for editing the heading. So that is all for about editing the heading. Another thing you might want to edit here is the margin. And let me use this thing to explain the margin. If I have an element, I wonder why this thing defaults to. If I have this element inside here, if this is the element, let me say this is the element. Then let me use this color for the element. So I can distinguish. If this is the element, now this might be the border of my element. This thing I have here might be the border. Now, this padding is the space between the element itself and its border. That is padding. But margin is the space between the element's border and its environment. So padding is between the element itself and its border, while margin is between the border of the element and its environment. That is it basically. So when I will explain all these things better in the Elementor video I'll be doing. I just want to keep this as introductory as I can, so I won't kill time. I won't kill time. Um, it's 1 hour already. So this is just for the text. Now, let me take this out. I don't know. If you are trying to, you can see this particular section now. It is just one straight section. If you want to partition it to 2 or 3, 2 ways to do it. You can come to add another section. You have opportunity to partition it. You can see I partition this section into 2. You might as well use an inner section. An inner section. You can see the inner section by default. It will partition the section into 2. I wonder why it's not loading. So this is an image. We want to bring in an image. So let me go to splash.com to bring in an image. 3 websites where you can get images for free. We have on Splash, we have Pixabay, on Splash, Pixabay, we have Pexels, and we have FreePic. Yes, FreePic. So let me say, honestly, I don't know what we women do to nature. Nature is not fair to us. Do you understand? A smiling woman on camera always looks better than a smiling man on camera. There's no two ways about it. I wonder why. See how handsome this man look. If I come here to search for a smiling woman, they will beat all these men hands down. So let me just look for a smiling man's picture. Oh, let's look for a smiling man's picture. Let's look for a smiling man's picture. Oh my, how beautiful she looks. So I can just come here, download for free. So you can see it's downloading the image from it. So you come to Elementor. 2 ways you can import this media file to your site. So you can come here, you choose the image. You can see the reason why we came to upload files tab directly is because there are no media files on this site. So just upload files, come here. You can see you can just drag it, or you can just click on the upload button over here. Then you select the file on the computer. So still loading. Still loading. Sorry about that. My master is around. So let's continue. So now I can insert the media. And one other funny thing about WordPress is that you have the ability to edit this image inside WordPress. You can see it's 1707 by 2560. This is too much of an image for the website. You can just reduce the size. Or depending on the use case, this might be a good image for a use case I don't know of. For our use case, we want to keep the website as light as possible. This image is too big. So let's edit the image. So you can see the interface to edit the image. The first thing I might want to do is I might say, I want to scale the image. What is wrong with you? I want to scale the image, say 600. 600 is fine. 600 by 900, very fine. So I'll just scale it to cut down the size of the image. So let me crop the image, just this crop. So just enter and to crop the image. So as you can see, the image is cropped. So you can just save it. So insert media. So you can see I have my image here. I have the image here. So one thing I might want to do is to bring the padding over the coordinates. You can see the padding is reducing the space between, it's increasing the space between, and padding, this one will link the values together. While if I should take it out, if I'm increasing left for example, you can see only the left is affected. So let me just keep it as 20. Another thing I want to edit might be the border radius. Border radius, if you come to style, you can see the width of the image, you can see the width of the image. If you practice constantly, all these things you will get used to them. So let me just delete it to give me the default, the max width, the height. Now you can edit the opacity of the image. You can see the opacity of the image altered. So for now, take it out. Now what I'm concerned about is this border radius. So I want it to have rounded corners. You can see the corners are rounded. So corners are rounded. Then I might want to put some text over here. So if I should update this particular site now, um, okay, that it is updated. If I should come here and reload this, you will be seeing the woman's picture here. The home page is taking a whole new look. You can see it's taking a whole new look. You can see this is the woman's picture here. So I might want to put some text here. Just come here. I might say text editor here. So you can see the default text that comes with it. Let me just come to my lipsum.com, bring in some text. So you can see it's something I can change. I can increase the margin top. If I come here, this margin, just the top is what I want to increase. No, it's not margin top. I think it should be padding top. Yes, you can see the padding top is being increased. You can see it's coming down. It's increasing only the top. So let me just take this out. Let me quickly run through. Let me quickly run through other. Let me quickly run through other widgets here so we can proceed. So if you need a video, a button, there's a button over there. Just drag it in. So you can see this is the button. You can change the text on the button, for example, download now. Apart from the button, you can change the URL that the button will link to, say google.com. You can do so many things you want to do. You can even change the size of the button to medium or something. So you can come to style, change the color. What's the color? Change the color and do whatever you want to do. The border radius too. You can just make it more rounded, and you can make it all rounded. You can see. So whatever you want to do, trust me, the possibilities are endless. So we have the divider too. We have the spacer. We have the icon. If you want to bring in Google Map, just bring it. Because it will load a Google Map kind of. So you can see the location is London, London. So let me change this thing to a place in Nigeria, a popular place. I'll call it Surulere, Lagos. Surulere, Lagos. Should load it up. Surulere, Lagos. You can see. If I should update this, then HRD training. Okay, the site is coming up. I wonder why this image, I cut the head of it. What is wrong? Okay, that's very specific. Mm, You can see what I have there. You can see it is loaded. Surulere. You can see. So this is a very good tool for if it's anybody with their phones using this map can locate you. Trust me, with their phones, if they know how to navigate Google Maps, they'll be able to locate you from any part of the world. Yes, read my lips, any part of the world. They can zoom in. So what else? Now let's go with this. I think that should be all for basic Elementor introduction for now. All these icons here, just get it. So I'll release a video that explains all this ones in detail. Honestly, I never planned for this stream to be this long.